Today, we'll be talking about how I got accepted into Amazon Merch on Demand, or Merch by Amazon, which it was called previously, on my very first try. Let's get into it. Amazon is the biggest e-commerce platform out there, and if we sell on there, then we will inevitably have the most eyeballs on us as well, since we're a part of their infrastructure. Now, in my honest opinion, one of the biggest opportunities that I've been lucky enough to be a part of is their Merch on Demand program. And what you basically do on there is that you research designs, you create them, and then just upload them to the site with the correct SEO. They handle all the fulfillment and all the customer service, which honestly makes it as passive as it possibly can be. I've also this year been able to make $1,500 to $3,000 consistently this year. And I only really just manage my ads every day, which takes about 1 to 5 minutes every day. So in my opinion, it's not passive per se, but it's the most passive print on demand opportunity there is. However, compared to Etsy, the biggest hurdle that a lot of people face is that they actually have an application process. So you have to apply to be a part of their platform. And then if you get accepted, then you can basically be a part of the Amazon Merch on Demand thing. But application can be a big hurdle. So today I'll go over the 5 things that I did that got me accepted on my very first try. Please remember that these are my own thoughts and my own opinions, and they're not actually definite since no one really knows what their criteria is. So these are just my own thoughts on why I got accepted on my first try. All right, so the first thing that's really important to know is that the information needs to be accurate. This is kind of obvious, but at the same time, it's just really important to provide accurate information about you and your business to them. Like if you're an individual, basically a sole proprietor, provide that. If you're an LLC, provide exactly which country you're residing in so that they know where you are and if it's eligible for actually having a Merch on Demand account. If you, for whatever reason, are in an ineligible country where you actually can't get an account, I'm very sorry to hear that if you're in that spot, but I would really not recommend to use a VPN, apply using not accurate information about you, like placeholder information or something like that. It's just really important to provide accurate information, as that is really important for tax reasons. And starting off Merch on Demand on account in that way is not a really good thing long term. And that leads me to the second part of this. If you have a sole proprietorship or an LLC, use that as the infrastructure within the application itself. So I asked them, for instance, recently if I can actually switch my Merch on Demand account to my LLC, since I formed an LLC here in Sweden earlier this year. Now, they couldn't actually just provide me with an answer. They just said that their internal team will basically determine if that's okay or not. I didn't get a definite answer. So I think there's some sort of way that you actually can transfer Merch on Demand accounts, but I'm not sure. And since this is a really good opportunity to be a part of, and you can't really get a new account if one gets banned, I myself have taken the safe route and just been sticking with the sole proprietorship that I actually registered when I started. So the main thing that I want to get through with this is that before you even apply, if you want to take an easy route, since I would so strongly recommend that you actually get an LLC, get your VAT ID or the equivalent of it, depending on where you live, so that you have all that set right from the get, all the necessary tax info and basically all the infrastructure to be a business set so that they can actually pay stuff out to you. I think it's just really important for tax reasons mainly, so that everything is just correct from the start, so that there won't be any possible hurdles along down the line. Now, the third thing that I did, I think is the most important part, and that's actually that I showcased my success with Etsy. So before I even applied on Merch by Amazon, I had some success already, not a lot, but some kind of success already with Etsy. So I made sure to link my Etsy shop into that application. I basically said, I've done this amount of revenue in this amount of time. And yeah, basically just already had success with print on demand already, but on Etsy, and then showcased my shop as proof of that. I think that definitely helped as I got in on my very first try. So if you can, I would strongly recommend to actually just start off on another site like Etsy first, get some social proof on there, get your Etsy shop rolling. And after you have some momentum from that shop, you can showcase that in your merchant application, and that will hopefully show that you know what you're doing and will hopefully lead to stronger application that will hopefully get you accepted. Now, the fourth thing is honestly just my own thoughts on this. Basically, I think a really big and important thing when it comes to the application is which bank and which country you actually live in. So if you, for instance, technically when you are selling on merch, you get your royalties paid out each month, and they get paid from their bank and then they get paid to your bank. If there is misalignment there, I think the bank that you actually have, if it's a newer bank, not a super established bank, I think that honestly can be a factor on why some people are not getting accepted. So here in Sweden, we have 3 or 4 major banks that have been here for a long time that are just basically the banks banks of Sweden. Then there are small ones as well, but I have one of those 4. I think it's 4 or 3, but basically one of the major ones here in Sweden. And I think having that, since the bank already have their infrastructure, they know what they're doing, they have been around for a while, I think that really impacts the application. As if it's a smaller bank with hurdles and they don't fully know, like they're not that established, I think that really can offset the application. So I would strongly recommend to like be with an established bank if you're applying for merge on demand, because basically if you have a bank and there's any type of issues with payment, I just think that can really big offset in the application itself. And now the 5th thing, and that's actually your country eligibility. As I mentioned before, like a bit of a tangent, I think the bank honestly has a huge impact. So make sure that your bank is an established one in the country that you live in to give you the best chances of actually being accepted into the program. So we can see that here, for instance, that this is even like a part of their FAQs. I think the hurdle basically is that if they can actually pay out to a bank within the country that you live in, then you can be a part of the program. So I think that could be a thing that could make country not eligible for payouts basically. This really impacts taxes as well, like how to do accounting and taxes. So it's really important to be accurate with the information provided in the actual application itself. The country eligibility that I'm referring to, I think the major thing to just, how I've seen it basically, is that if the relationships between the countries themselves are good and you're with an established bank within the country that you live in, not like a small one, I think those really impact the actual application itself. The smoothness of how they will operate will be easier if that's set from the get, basically. So to summarize, make sure that you're accurate with the information that you provide. Make sure to have a sole proprietorship or an LLC from the beginning. Don't apply without like having this. It makes the whole infrastructure of everything just much easier and smoother. So I would strongly recommend to have that from the get, since you can just apply everything that you need from the start. Like if you, like me, you live in a European country, you can provide them with your VAT ID. You can provide them with basically everything that they need, since you have the infrastructure set from the get. The 3rd thing is to showcase success. Showcase that you actually have had success already on another platform like Etsy. I did that, and I do think that it actually had a huge impact on the application itself. The 4th thing is to make sure that you're with an established bank, as that really smoothens the whole process for actually doing merch on demand, since they can just pay out easily each month when they need to without hassle. And the 5th thing is the country eligibility. If your country isn't basically eligible and they can't like work with a bank within the country that you live in, then I don't think it's a smart move to use like a VPN and like try to fake that you live in another country, as that will really impact taxes and stuff and will have further implications down the line. So in these cases, I would just strongly recommend to just focus attention onto another opportunity where you can actually seize the opportunity itself and make the most of it. Like if your country is eligible on Etsy, go all in on Etsy. I've made most of my money there, and it's a huge opportunity as well. But I don't think it's a smart move to not provide accurate information if you don't live in an eligible country. I just think it's better to take the L and just focus like efforts on things that you can actually scale and make happen, instead of risking everything for just this one opportunity. I don't think that's a smart move. If you are one of the lucky ones that actually got into merch on demand, congratulations. Now your real journey actually starts. And to help you on that road, I made this video right here. It showcases how to make designs, and hopefully that will help you on your print on demand journey. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.